Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. The New York Yankees have made it clear, in the most Yankees way possible, that this offseason is going to be less about chasing big-name starters and more about finding value, where the market won't demand a king's ransom after landing Cody Bellinger. The team's big splash of the winter, the franchise has shifted gears, signaling that the next move won't be a headline-grabbing, blockbuster contract for a rotation arm. The truth is, the starting pitcher market is thin at the top, and the Yankees, with payroll already ballooning, simply don't have the appetite to chase the remaining free agent starters the way they might have in the past. The era of unlimited spending, at least for now, seems to have taken a back seat to a more measured, strategic approach. Freddie Peralta was the clear target for New York, and it was easy to see why. Outside of Tarik Skubal, there was no better starter available on the open market, and the Yankees were expected to make a serious run at him. But now that Peralta has gone to Flushing, the team is left staring at a starting rotation that still needs help, but without the luxury of spending freely on the remaining options. That's the reality the Yankees are facing. The top-tier starters are gone, and the next wave of free agents either comes with baggage, risk, or a price tag that doesn't fit New York's current financial posture. According to Mark Feinsand, writing for MLB.com, the Yankees will not be in the mix for the remaining free agent starters, including Framber Valdez, Zach Gallen, Chris Bassitt, or Lucas Giolito. That is a statement that should be taken seriously because it represents a strategic shift. When the Yankees decide not to pursue a certain class of player, it usually means they have a plan in place that doesn't require the fanfare of another big signing. It also means they are acknowledging a simple truth. This winter is not going to be about adding starting pitchers through free agency. Instead, it's about creativity, depth, and internal development. The reasons for this are not complicated. The Yankees' payroll is already projected to be over $300 million next season, and that number is not one you can just keep inflating without consequences. Spotrac has them tab at $324 million for next season, a figure that makes it clear the team is already operating near the top of its spending comfort zone. That's not to say they can't add more, but it does mean they have to be careful about where they allocate their resources. The Bellinger deal was the big move, the one that satisfied a major need in the lineup. With that box checked, the front office is unlikely to chase another costly commitment, unless it truly changes the trajectory of the team. It's also telling that the Yankees avoided Tatsuya Imai. Even though his deal was reportedly much less than expected, that move suggests the team is not only conscious of payroll, but also of roster construction and long-term flexibility. The Yankees have a habit of spending big when they believe it will solve a problem in a decisive way. But in this case, they appear content to leave certain gaps unfilled in the short term, rather than overpay for a player who might not deliver the kind of value they demand. This is not a franchise that likes to throw money at uncertainty, and the fact that they passed on Imai tells you they are more focused on efficiency than spectacle. So why exactly are they avoiding the free agent starter market? Let's start with Framber Valdez. He is a talented pitcher, but the Yankees would likely have to offer a deal comparable to what they gave Bellinger in total dollars and years. That is a commitment the team may not be willing to make, especially when you consider the baggage that comes with Valdez. The Yankees saw firsthand his tension with catcher Cesar Salazar, a conflict that was on display when Trent Grisham hit a home run off him. That kind of personality issue is not something the Yankees want to inherit, especially when they already have a clubhouse culture that they are protective of. In a city like New York, the pressure is already high, and adding a player with potential internal friction is a risk the Yankees may not be willing to take. Then there is Zach Gallen, who would have been the next best available pitcher, but his market is complicated by the Arizona Diamondbacks' qualifying offer. That extra layer of complexity makes him a tougher target, not because of his talent, but because of the logistics involved in acquiring him. When a team is trying to balance payroll and roster flexibility, those kinds of complications can be enough to push a player off the board. It's not that the Yankees don't respect Gallen. It's that the cost of pursuing him is not worth the potential reward, given the constraints they are operating under. And then there are the other names, Chris Bassitt and Lucas Giolito. Both have had moments of excellence, but both also come with concerns that make them less attractive to a team that is trying to be careful with every dollar. The Yankees are not in a position to gamble on a pitcher who might deliver inconsistent results, because their margin for error is smaller than it appears. The Bellinger deal already pushed them into a higher spending bracket, and the team has to consider not only next season, but the seasons after that. The Yankees are building not just for the present, but for sustained competitiveness, and that requires discipline. So what will the Yankees do instead? The answer is simple: they will get creative. The front office has always been known for its ability to find pitching in unconventional ways, whether through trades, internal development, or lesser-known free agents who can outperform expectations. If the Yankees are not going to spend big on a starter, then they will look to find value elsewhere. That could mean relying on young arms already in the organization, or making a trade that fills the rotation without breaking the bank. It could also mean investing in the bullpen, where they can get a high-impact piece without the long-term commitment of a starter. Feinstein also notes that the Yankees will likely look to add a bullpen piece or two. That is a move that makes sense for a team that already has a strong lineup and a rotation that is decent but not elite. The bullpen has become a critical part of modern baseball, and the Yankees know that a dominant relief corps can make the difference in October. The team already has aimed Rosario, Oswaldo Cabrera, Jasson Dominguez, and potentially Spencer Jones on the bench, which means the bench is in a strong position. That leaves the bullpen as the next logical area to reinforce, especially since the team can add relievers without the same financial burden as starting pitchers. But the most interesting part of this offseason is the possibility of a surprise trade. The Yankees have always been a team that can make the kind of move that shocks the market. The kind of move that comes out of nowhere and changes everything. It's either going to be a quiet winter with minimal movement beyond the Bellinger signing, or it's going to be a winter where the Jeff Passan notification hits and Brian Cashman delivers a trade that nobody saw coming. The Yankees have done this before, and they can do it again. In 2021, they made the surprising acquisitions in one move, bringing in Isiah Kiner-Falefa to shore up shortstop and adding Josh Donaldson to bolster the lineup. That kind of trade is exactly the kind of unexpected move that can define a season. And then there was last year's surprise, when the Yankees acquired Devin Williams, an impact reliever who changed the dynamic of the bullpen. Those kinds of moves are not just transactions, they are statements. They tell the league that the Yankees are still willing to take risks, even if they are not spending freely in free agency. If the Yankees can pull off another surprise trade like these, it could reshape the narrative of the winter. It could also provide the missing piece the team needs to go from contender to favorite. Of course, the big question is whether any of these moves will actually yield the results the Yankees hope for. The team has a history of making trades that look great on paper, but don't always deliver in reality. That's the risk of relying on surprise moves. But the alternative is to sit back and hope the current roster can carry the team. And that's not the Yankee style. This franchise has always been built on ambition, on the belief that it can outwork and outmaneuver the competition. If they are not going to chase free agent starters, then they will find another way to improve. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. The baseball world is reeling. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, but now it seems there's confirmation that the New York Yankees are not just tinkering at the edges, they are reshaping the very blueprint of their franchise in a way that could send shockwaves through the entire Major League Baseball landscape. Sources close to the organization suggest that the Yankees have quietly secured a blockbuster package on the offensive side, a move that could redefine what it means to be a contender in the modern era. The whispers started as murmurs in the Bronx, casual talk between insiders at local sports bars and national analysts. But now they are impossible to ignore. The Yankees, according to multiple insiders, have finalized deals that bring in Garrett Crochet, a power arm with the kind of upside that makes opposing hitters break into a cold sweat, and Mookie Betts, a superstar outfielder whose very presence seems to electrify a lineup. The mere suggestion that these two forces could unite under the pinstripes has sent shivers down the spines of rival teams, and the league office itself is said to be monitoring the developments with a mix of curiosity and genuine alarm. The MLB, which typically operates with a measured pace when it comes to roster construction, appears to be entering a new era of strategic anxiety, as one executive was overheard describing the situation as a seismic shift in power. There is a sense that what the Yankees are doing is not just about winning games, it is about sending a message. a statement that they intend to dominate not for a season, but potentially for a generation. The speculation surrounding Garrett Crochet is particularly intriguing. Known for his electric fastball and devastating slider, Crochet is a pitcher who can change the complexion of any game in an instant, while some teams might have hesitated to make a long-term commitment. The Yankees reportedly saw something special: a potential frontline starter, capable of anchoring their rotation for years. In a league where pitching depth is constantly tested, the addition of Crochet could allow the Yankees to reimagine how they approach the entire pitching staff, giving them the flexibility to balance workloads and maximize matchups in ways that feel almost unfair. Analysts who have tracked Crochet's meteoric rise in recent seasons describe him as a once-in-a-decade talent, a player whose ceiling is difficult to quantify but whose floor already outshines the expectations placed on many mid-tier starters. The Yankees, it seems, are betting not just on talent but on timing, capitalizing on a moment when the market might not fully appreciate what Crochet can offer. If these whispers hold any truth, rival general managers are likely pacing their offices late into the night, wondering how they could have been blindsided by such a decisive move. Then there's Mookie Betts, whose name alone can ignite conversations in every clubhouse across the league. Betts is not just a player, he is an institution, a force of nature capable of altering the tempo of a game with a single swing, a lightning-quick steal, or a defensive play that seems to defy physics. The rumors suggest that the Yankees are banking on his ability to elevate everyone around him, creating a lineup that is almost impossible to navigate. Betts' presence in the Bronx would instantly transform the Yankees from a strong team into an almost mythical powerhouse, blending star power, clutch performance, and leadership in a way few franchises have ever managed. The discussions circulating among sports insiders paint a picture of a team where every at-bat matters, where the lineup can hit from top to bottom, and where opponents might find themselves constantly on edge. Imagine a scenario where every game becomes a chess match, with opposing managers forced to reconsider strategies simply to survive a single inning. That, according to those in the know, is exactly what the Yankees hope to achieve. The league office, meanwhile, is reportedly grappling with the implications as they try to anticipate how this level of consolidation of talent might affect competitive balance, ticket sales, and even broadcast ratings across the country. Some skeptics have questioned whether such a move is sustainable, pointing out that the chemistry of a team is delicate, and that the introduction of high-profile talent does not always guarantee harmony. But in the case of the Yankees, insiders insist that the organization is thinking well beyond the current season. The front office is rumored to be engineering a cultural shift, blending analytics, veteran leadership, and raw athleticism into a roster designed to dominate for years. The addition of Crochet and Betts, if true, would represent a dual approach: powerful pitching to silence opponents, and explosive offense to seize momentum at crucial moments. It's a strategy that seems to embrace risk but in a calculated way, one that only an organization with the resources and ambition of the Yankees could pull off. The potential ripple effects are enormous, with rival teams now forced to consider not just how to compete with New York in individual matchups, but how to adapt their long-term roster strategies in response. The speculation alone is enough to generate buzz on social media, drive commentary on national sports networks, and fuel endless debate among baseball fans across the country. The atmosphere in the Bronx is electric with anticipation, and the local media seems almost giddy at the possibility of witnessing history. Stadium insiders whisper about locker room excitement, subtle hints that players themselves are aware of the magnitude of what might be unfolding. Fans, naturally, are experiencing a mix of euphoria and anxiety, fully aware that the promise of dominance carries with it intense scrutiny and expectation. If these rumors solidify into official announcements, it would mark one of the most audacious moves in recent baseball history, a gambit that could redefine the narrative around the Yankees' identity and position in the league. Already, merchandise speculation is rampant, with jersey sales for both Crochet and Betts rumored to be skyrocketing even before contracts are signed. Analysts are drawing parallels to past dynasties, debating whether this is a moment of genius or a bold experiment that could reshape the way we view team building in modern sports. Every angle is being dissected, every tweet analyzed, as the baseball world collectively holds its breath. At the league level, the reaction appears to be a mix of fascination and concern. Executives from other franchises are reportedly scrambling to assess how such a combination of talent could destabilize existing hierarchies, while legal and financial experts examine the ramifications for luxury tax thresholds, contract structures, and potential precedents in player acquisition. There's a sense, insiders say, that the Yankees are setting a new standard, one that may force the entire league to rethink what is possible both on the field and in boardrooms. The MLB, a league that has long prized parity and balanced competition, suddenly finds itself contending with the idea that one team might be capable of assembling near unmatched firepower. And the question rises, how will everyone else respond? Will rival franchises attempt similar maneuvers? Or will they focus on alternative strategies to counterbalance what the Yankees appear to be building? The suspense alone is feeding into a narrative that feels almost cinematic. A drama unfolding across ballparks from coast to coast, even beyond the tactical implications. The human element is impossible to ignore. The arrival of Mookie Betts in New York, for example, is said to be electrifying the clubhouse, inspiring younger players, and forcing veterans to elevate their game. Meanwhile, Crochet's trajectory as a pitcher represents a story of talent meeting opportunity at a moment when the stakes could not be higher. The combination of these forces, experience, youth, raw ability, and strategic foresight, could create a synergy that is difficult for any competitor to match. Rumors suggest that team practices are being quietly adjusted to integrate new approaches, incorporating advanced analytics, rotational management, and specialized coaching that emphasizes both individual performance and collective cohesion. The idea is that the Yankees are not just adding star power, they are engineering an ecosystem optimized for winning, one that accounts for both on-field results and the psychological edge of appearing untouchable. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.